Hi, Jerry.
Greetings.
As I was saying, what I want to do today is that this image that came to me this morning may give many people a swift and easy way in to the clarifying range of imagination we're demonstrating. So I call this an easy way in. And if you're ready, I'll tell you my image.
I'm
Yeah?
ready.
Okay. I'm seeing a big gallon can of white paint in front of me. It's big because this image comes from when I'm a little girl. So, what happens as I look into this image now is I see that moment where the wedge end of the screwdriver is going in under the tight lid of the can. And I see myself, boom, and so the lid pops up. And, that's a bit of a surprise and I kind of jump with it, but I'm happy it came out because they can really be hard to open. So it's off and away. And now I like that look of the way the thick paint is kind of wallowing around in there and it's shiny and it's so white and nice bright white. So, so now all of a sudden I see myself on my knees, leaning over with a big, broad paintbrush in my hand, and I am enjoying swinging this paintbrush back and forth. Mm. I'm just really into making these big strokes of white paint. I don't see what I'm painting or anything else. It's just this wonderful feeling of being in the swing of this. And then I go back to that puzzlement as to why am I seeing this? Why did this image come to me? Because I know these reasons, these images, they know what they're doing. They have a reason for appearing. They're not just flopping around. Finally, it comes to me to remember that earlier scene where I see Janny very carefully carrying this open can of paint to mommy and being proud of herself that she's not spilling it. But then now, the news today is seeing my critical mother just smiling down on me, and she's just entirely delighted with me. There's only really one other image that I've had of her that gave me anything like this feeling of her being really pleased with me. So, it's hard to say how big that is, because I've I've been overshadowed by her critical thinking all my life. So this is a super special moment of expansive delight. Is that clear enough?
Very clear.
Okay. All right. I'd now like you, Jerry, to see yourself in my shoes and share your reciprocal vision of this scene.
Yeah, I have a very vivid image of the top of a paint can. I can picture it in so much detail. Feel a screwdriver in my hand going around that paint can, and just that real satisfaction of finally prying the lid off and lifting it, and
I like that expression, prying it loose comes to mind right now.
yeah, prying it loose. And when I feel how that touches me, it's exciting every time. Every time of opening a paint can has a similar quality of excitement to it somehow. just feel some excitement in my chest and in my arms, and that anticipation of looking, just looking to see what's inside there. It's like a very fresh surprise, even if I know what to expect to open that can. I can see my young self, maybe 5 years old, and I see my 5-year-old self just there, kind of exploring what paint is, with this stir and this mix of excitement about what this substance is, and also some sense of danger. Like, got to be really careful with this stuff too. And I feel that that sense of danger is a bit of tightness in my center of my chest, like around my solar plexus, spreading out into my arms. And then when I see myself in Jenny's shoes, with that wide paintbrush, I see like a big fat 4-inch paintbrush, and just dipping that and seeing the bristles of that brush get the paint and that dripping, and just really feeling that sweeping back and forth. Uh, yeah, so satisfying. Just seeing that fresh paint go on. It feels so exciting and satisfying to me, and I want to keep going with it. I kind of see this old dingy wall around the edges, and just see that first square of paint go over it, and I feel drawn into just wanting to keep going and going with that paint.
So let me know how that body response of keeping going is
Yeah.
going in you. Where in particular do you have that keeping going feeling?
It's almost like a pressure from inside my body pressing forward on the outer part of my body, but from within, it's this real sense of forward motion. Um, something about it's familiar from being a child, and like playing a game and running and just wanting to move forward, keep going. And
So go ahead.
feel a lot of my arms, the front of my body. I notice it more, and also in my legs. Like, my legs want to push forward as well. And it's just a lot of energy and enthusiasm there.
Can you see that you've had a need to keep going? That this is fulfilling a need in to keep going?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I've had some things that I really feel that drive to move forward with and be creative with, and um, get going, that I've felt some stuckness around, and
Mhm.
some frustration, because I want to move forward. So
So
yeah.
how are you going to relate to this image now that you recognize that?
Mm, well, I relate to it with enthusiasm and welcoming it. And I like that it starts with prying that lid off. It's not just the image of painting, somehow having that step of prying the lid off
Definitely. That's a very powerful move. I mean, I see it now. I mean, it's powerful in me,
Yeah.
make a big difference. Pop that lid off.
Right. Yeah, that's a really important step somehow. It's not just an image of like lazily painting the fence on a summer afternoon. It's first there's this very felt experience of prying that lid off, like needing to make something happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's great.
Something, something that won't happen with that lid on.
Right. Yeah, and then I'll keep going and I'll picture my mom in your mom's shoes.
Okay.
And so I see my mom uh, looking down on me, looking down in a good, loving, supportive way. And yeah, I get an image of my mom letting me know that she's rooting for me.
Hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, a couple of things immediately came up. One is playing music.
Hmm.
My mom always she loved music and was a musician herself, so she was always supportive of me uh, playing music and getting better at it and practicing and learning a new song. So I feel that warmth. It's like coupled with my own enthusiasm, there's this warmth of having someone else, especially my mom, just reflect back my enthusiasm in a supportive way. And I think of playing baseball also, and my mom just being relaxed and enthusiastic about it, positive. Um, yeah, it's good to feel that. um, it's really good. I just get this feeling of warmth and groundedness, rootedness that perfectly balances out that forward energy, that kind of up and out energy being balanced by this just warm, settling, solid, rooted feeling.
What does the groundedness do for your sense of the strength of the forwardness?
It gives it a sense of not just being empty, pointless energy being expended, but it's energy being expended with the like underlying confidence that there's something good about it, something important about it, something really rich and valuable about it,
Hmm.
rather than just empty activity for the sake of it.
Bravo.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks for asking that. Yeah. Let me see. So when you invited me into that image, yeah, I had no idea where it would go. There would go there. And in a way, it's makes sense. It's very similar to your experience, but definitely with my own flavor and its own particular relevance for me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that the word inspiration comes up to me now because when you see another person's image and it inspires, it's like a new breath. But then because these images are entirely structural energy fields, it's not a floozy sort of thing. It is a very exacting thing, as you have pointed out so clearly. And, you know, I just ask you to concentrate a little more on one detail, and you get more power out of, because you just gave it a little more time and gave it a little more attention to what does grounding mean. You see, and when we realize that all the different features of an image have some distinct power like that in it, that our imagination knows we need to know, then you grasp why these are the gifts and powers of our imagination, and why we love to get a hold of them once we realize that we have them in us, within us, individually, and with us to share in this very giving way, which is so inspiring and self and mutually illuminating and transformative all at the same time. Meanwhile, we're perfectly autonomous. We're not confusing.
Yeah.
We're distinguishing gifts and powers that we've been slurring over. So that's how, like, paying attention really matters, because of the powers that come through in us. Because our attention means towards holding. And if we're just going hastily along, we can't get a hold of these gifts and powers that we're so in need of handling well.